Happy Saturday, friends. I am excited. Welcome back. Day 2 of our 2-week content creation challenge. And today we are diving right in to hooks and payoffs. Okay. So we have talked a little bit about this. If you guys were on the first initial trainings that I came in and did, we have talked about this, and you do understand kind of a little bit of what the hook and the payoff is. But I'm going to give you guys a quick definition, and then we're going to roll right into creating this because these are pretty self-explanatory. And not to mention, in the workbook, I give you some really simple examples that you can start applying, okay? And to make it really work and be applicable for you and for your micro niche and your client clarity statement and the content you're wanting to build everything around, okay? So, first of all, let's talk about what the hook is. The hook grabs the attention and it stops the scroll, okay? So if you don't have a good hook, people are gonna run right by you, right? There's 2 ways to get hooks, but tonight we're gonna really focus on the simpler way. That's to create hooks that are with words, okay? You can use visual hooks, and I do encourage you, and we will, as we go through this, you're gonna notice and you're gonna start to see how this works, but visual hooks are very powerful and they can work very good. Sometimes you gotta use a little shock and awe with your visual hooks, right? But honestly, the words are where it's at because people are reading, and so they're watching it. And if they see something that grabs their attention, they're gonna stop, okay? So let's talk about a few attention grabbing hooks that you can utilize as you are going through this and you're starting to build your content, okay? I've already given you one of my really powerful hooks sheets. You guys should have gotten that. If you haven't, give me your free hooks below. I'll get it sent to you. But then there's also a list of hooks you can use in the workbook, the content creation workbook that was delivered to you before the training, okay? So let's talk about these and what they look like. So one of the hooks you can say is, the biggest mistake I made when I started blank, okay? When I started on my health and wellness journey, when I started losing weight, when I started on my social media content creation journey, when I started on my coaching journey, whatever that is for you, right? Fill in the blank. People are gonna, that's a really great showstopper. They're like, what's the biggest mistake they made? I don't wanna make that mistake, right? Then the payoff is gonna be saying what that mistake is, whether you're vocalizing it on that reel or you are simply like listing it out in words, okay? Number 2, this is another hook. This is the one thing I changed and how I'm never looking back, okay? Another one you can use. If you're struggling with blank, try this. If you're struggling with nobody viewing your content, try this one change. Use a hook. Use these 3 hooks, right? Simple. You'll see a difference. If you're struggling with weight loss, try getting your 8 hours of sleep every night and drinking a gallon of water a day. Adding that to your routine, right? Simple. The fastest way to grow your blank. Your bank account, your following, right? To grow your sourdough starter. I mean, I don't care what it is you're creating content about. The fastest way to grow your blank. What is it? What does that look like, right? The payoff is going to be your tips and your suggestions, okay? Let's see. Here's why your blank isn't working. Here's why your weight loss plan isn't working. 3 tips, right? Give it to them. That's the payoff, okay? You guys understanding this? Hooks and payoffs are really pretty simple. I don't want to spend a bunch of time camped out creating these. I want to get into a little bit deeper dive on how you get to these points, because tying them back to your micro niche is really where the magic happens for this, okay? So I feel like understanding the hooks is simple and you have enough examples of this, okay? Now let's talk about for a minute the payoffs, and then I'm going to talk about how we tie this together with your micro niche and make this all come together, okay? So we can marry this up. Okay, payoffs are delivering the results. So whatever it is that you decide to put in your hook, whatever it is that you've decided to write about, right? That's what you've got to deliver in the payoff. So you can't say, the number one thing I did, I'm going to go back here and read them. If I try to do this from memory, I'll get all discombobulated. The biggest mistake I made when I started to try to lose weight, right? What was it? You can't just leave them hanging. You got to have that payoff, right? That's where we're delivering the results, okay? If you're struggling with blank, try this. If you're struggling with eating at night, right, try having 25 grams of fiber at supper time and drinking a whole Stanley full of water. I mean, I'm just making this up, right? But for real, that would work. Why I stopped eating sugar past 5 p.m., I'm sorry, and why you should too. I don't know, why? Tell me why. Tell me what your solution is, right? These are all things that are super simple and super easy to deliver on. Okay, so here's where I told you guys we're going to start using ChatGPT, and I'm going to help you guys with this. So here's a little cheat for you guys, okay? Figure out what your hook is and what you want it to be. So for instance, if you're going to use the hook, and I'm looking straight at the workbook, like seriously, I got the workbook pulled up right here on my phone. I'm giving you guys examples from it, okay? I don't have these memorized in my brain. I can sit down and think about them, but use the workbook, use the tools. The biggest mistake I made when I started making money online, started losing weight. We'll use weight loss, for instance, because I think that's a pretty general, simple one that a lot of people can really apply. Biggest mistake I made when I started losing weight. When I started trying to lose weight, right? What was it? What was the biggest mistake you made, right? Think about that. Well, I know for myself, the biggest mistake I made when I started trying to go on my weight loss journey was weighing myself every day. Why? Because it got in my head and made me mess up, and then I'd get frustrated, eat a bag of Oreos, right? So that's the simple way to do that payoff and deliver that. Stop weighing yourself every day. Why? Okay, then you're going to take it down to the caption, and that's where you're going to expand upon this, okay? So the hook is the simple thing that you're going to put across the top that's going to stop the scroll. That's the first thing they've got to see when they come to the reel. The payoff is the biggest mistake I ever made when I started to lose weight, right? Looking at the scale every day. That's the payoff. Here's why. And then in the caption below, on the bottom of your reel, then you can write out what it is that you did and how you would do it differently. Caveat, okay? Here's where we're going to use a little bit of AI. Now, here's my soapbox about AI. Take out the emojis, take out all the little quotations and asterisks and all the things. Make sure that it's short and sweet and to the point. But when you figure out which hook you're going to write, okay, you're going to say, hello, I am writing some content for Reels, and here is my hook. Can you give me a short and impactful payoff that goes with this hook? Okay, put your hook in there, and then it'll give you, and then you can say, give me a couple more of examples. Short and impactful are the keywords that I'm using here for a reel, okay? When you like it and it lands on something, then I want you to say, great. Now write me a simple caption. No emojis, no asterisks, no quotations to go with this so that I can post it with my reel, okay? Boom, boom, okay? You see how simple this is? You see how easy we're going to make this for you guys? Okay, now then, now that you understand that strategy, hopefully that was simple enough to break it down. If not, no worries, just start working on it. You're going to understand it. Play with the ChatGPT. ChatGPT is a fantastic tool. We just don't want to sound like we're using ChatGPT. That's why we give it a little bit more direction, okay? And I also want you to understand something. So the reason that we started yesterday working within our micro niche and understanding our audience was because when you understand what kind of value you're bringing to your audience and to your demographic, then you understand what kind of content to start producing to give them that's going to really pique their interests, okay? So let's say, for example, I'll just use a client of mine who I know and have worked with. So I have a client, and she's a nurse. She's an amazing woman, and she sells health and wellness products, okay? Like so many of us do, right? And she hadn't had any sales, was struggling to make sales. And I said to her, I said, well, tell me what you're really wanting to focus on selling. Okay, so we knew her product and what she was wanting to sell. She was wanting to sell to women and nurses in her age group. So between, like 40 to 60, right there. Nurses and women in general, but she kind of had a nurse vibe, so that's who she was kind of talking to. Well, she said, I really want to focus on helping my friends with gut health and stress relief. So that's the kind of content I want to deliver because I feel like I've got lots of tips to naturally relieve stress, and I feel like I've got lots of information to help with gut health. And she said, just simple tips, every single day tips. And then, of course, that's what I sell, so it's an easy transition. I was like, ooh, I love that. It's really easy to talk about gut health and all the things you can do for your gut health without being salesy, because there's so much you can do around gut health, right? Same with weight loss, same with stress relief, same with motivation, right? Same with cooking, same with sourdough starter, same with farming, whatever it is that your micro niche is, there's all kinds of really good free value that you can use that's going to help you build a bridge to sell your product, okay? So she started building a lot of really good content around stress relief. And around the holidays is when her content really started to take off. Oh, imagine that, stress relief around the holidays. Who needs that, okay? So this could be a hook that she, for instance, would have used. And I'm going to try to tie this all up so you guys understand this. So this one tip changed how I managed my stress forever. Okay? Remember, she's selling supplements that are going to help with stress and gut health and weight loss and that kind of stuff, right? But she's giving facts about stress because her audience is dealing with stress right now. And your audience is too, right? Like, that's a pretty common factor among the human race, really. And then she would put like some tips like, take dragon breaths, right? 10 really deep dragon breaths. Drink your water, meditate, whatever her tips were, right? Not my tips, hers. And she started putting out there. Started putting content about stress and like fighting the stress. You guys, her following went crazy. She grew like 1,000 followers in a month on her Facebook, made like 6 sales. She hadn't had any sales in the year. And this strategy completely rocked her world, okay? So when you're thinking about your content, these reels that we're starting to make, this isn't selling. This is free value. So when you're thinking about the hook, I want you to plug in that free value that you're fixing to deliver, okay? If you don't know what to deliver, leverage ChatGPT and use the formula that I literally just told you, okay? Another really great little hack is in the workbook. I gave you, right after the hook section, there's a Google SEO search engine optimization hack that you can go use. You can type in a phrase and you can scroll down, and then you can also look at, it's in the workbook, so make sure you look there. It'll explain it. I'm pointing you to the workbook because it's a great tool. It'll show you what other people are looking for in that specific search that could help you create some content around that, okay? Remember, this is gonna feel counterintuitive. That's okay. That's really, really normal, okay? This is gonna feel a little bit hard. That's okay. We're just doing the thing. We're just showing up right now. I don't need you to fully understand it. I just need you to start stumbling through it. And when we start to create the content, I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna push on you and I'm gonna help you get better at it, okay? So don't stress if you're like, I'm a little bit not understanding. It's okay. Write the hook, okay? Plug in your demographic and what they're looking for the help that you're gonna deliver, right? And then I want you to throw it in ChatGPT if you can't think of the payoff and say, I need a quick, short, impactful payoff for this hook. Put it in there, it's gonna give it to you, and then say, great, I like it, or give me a couple more options, and then you're gonna write the caption. That's it, simple, okay? Then tomorrow night, we're gonna be back, same time, and I'm gonna go through the checklist of how to actually create the reels, okay? So this is gonna be super helpful, super impactful. I'm really excited about this. You guys, I want you to drop the hooks that you get ready in the comments, and I want you to drop the payoffs that you get ready to go with them in the comments, and I want to look at them, and I want to be able to go through them and be like, oh, this looks really good, maybe change this up, this is good. I'll give you some feedback, okay? So make sure you drop them. If you need any extra help, go to the workbook. There's a whole section on hooks and payoffs, and then you can use that little Google search engine optimization hack that I told you about, okay? Don't overthink it. This isn't that hard. You're just plugging in some words and you're playing around with it, okay? Okay, well, I'm excited. Drop your stuff in the comments. Thank you for being on tonight. Let me know if you're catching this live or catching the replay. Still cold where I'm at, so curious about the weather there. And also, same time, same place, tomorrow night, we'll be back. We're gonna put everything together and we're gonna get ready for our blitz starting next week, okay? See you guys soon. Bye, friends.